Because of our thinking that it is enlightened to excuse the non-life-enhancing and unacceptable qualities and behavior of others, we think that it is actually doing them and ourselves good. Let's take a look carefully at the sentence by sentence at the multiple statements that lead to so many causes of illusion. Illumination 78 says, because of our deluded fear of abandonment, we excuse the non-life enhancing qualities of others. We delude ourselves further by calling this deceit of self enlightened. We tend to impute high motives to dysfunctionality where there are none. We see an excuse for the behavior of others in how wounded they are, never acknowledging that all have the perfection of the one life as the reality of their being. Not to see the un-wholeness of another is to keep him and her on the treadmill of illusion. To accept the unacceptable is to disrespect the holy origins of our beings as part of the one life of incorruptibility. It also allows another to continue living an unexamined life. Now, there are many reasons why we tend to overlook another's deceit, dysfunctionality, or embodiment of illusion. One of it is that it's so hard to believe because many of us have dark ones that have come into our lives during the dream years. What happens is that we do not see how anybody could be that way. We don't understand what really could go on in someone's mind because it doesn't go on in ours. And if we could, it would be a tremendous shock. Because of the desire of the human being to seek sameness, a problematic and illusion-causing behavior, we think that others are enlightened because they learn to speak the same language that they think will appeal to us. If we are enlightened, they tend to speak about enlightenment. If they see that we are philosophical, they tend to be philosophical. But ultimately, at the end of the day, those things are not lived. And so that is the part where we have a hard time seeing it. Certainly, the deluded fear of abandonment causes many to excuse the qualities of others that are not acceptable. But there is a problem also with those who are completely self-sustaining and self-sovereign in doing the same thing. When we do not look at patterns because we are living spontaneously, it sometimes takes a knock over the head with a 2x4 for us to sit down and get the full impact of the dysfunctional pattern that people in our environment have lived out. If they've used us, it's hard to see because we gladly give. But if we see the reasons that they are there, that it is first and foremost for self-preservation, for self-aggrandizement, because of many different things that we give them, it is the wrong reason. Unless they ask, what am I here to contribute to this person's life, we should not be in a relationship. So truly getting the import of it ahead of time without getting the knock over the head is vitally important. Let us therefore each day, in the silence of our mind, look at those in our environment and say, truth, reveal thyself, or let all illusion become transparent to me, so that I can pierce the illusion of Mrs. Nice Guy, Mr. Nice Guy, oh, what an adorable young teenager, oh, what a cute manipulative child. If we can look through the illusion, many are scared. What do I do then? If I truly see into the heart of darkness, what do I do then? My brothers and sisters, whatever the solution may be, no solution can be found unless truth is first seen. If it can truly be defined what and who is really in your environment, then you can know whether or not there is something to do. Now, there is another problem, and that is the promises of change. It keeps many people married to alcoholics, and always it comes down to, please feel sorry for me, I'm in such agony. Meantime, the agony that they are inflicting and the discomfort they are inflicting in people in their environment are not ever considered by them. That is the problematic area when we do the same. When we keep saving instead of looking at the distress that it's causing, that's nothing more than codependence. And might I add that the elderly have become prime masters in many instances at being as difficult as they choose because they're in agony. People around us, psychological trauma from childhood. So they have the right to be as rude as they can to other people because they're suffering, causing others to suffer, but being so self-centered that they do not even see it. It is important for us to notice that, because in not seeing the unwholeness of another, we cannot help them off a treadmill. Help them off the treadmill might mean to leave them. It might mean to ask them to hit the road. But regardless of what it is their next step. And we keep them locked in when we keep believing month after month, year after year, of how hard they're trying to change. Meantime, they're looking at their own victimhood. And they often shed tears when there's confrontation. But they are mostly tears of self-pity. It's also sometimes tears of rage that you no longer allow yourself to be manipulated. When this Illumination 78 ends, it says to accept the unacceptable is to disrespect the holy origins of our being as part of the one life of incorruptibility. If we do not respect our own holiness enough to clear up our living space and our environment into a holy space, then we cannot expect that throughout the cosmos, throughout Earth, that the holy will be respected by others. We are the pivot points of life. I want you to think of all the relationships in your environment after reading Illumination 78, please. Take careful stock. Teenagers get away with, they're just in their teenage years, so they're difficult. Women say of men, men are so difficult, like it's an excuse by giving them a label. Men might say of women, they're so erratic. An excuse because of a label. There are women who take out the discomfort of their monthly menstrual cycles on their entire family. My brothers and sisters, the more we focus and cherish and keep wrapped up in a gentle cloth our ailments, our traumas of the past, the less we are able to get over them. Secondly, there is no affliction given to any being but that they are given the ability to overcome it. When we excuse those shortcomings, they have no reason to overcome it. We are doing no one a favor. So please consider that. And this is Illumination 78's discussion.